All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Yeah. All right, so my name is Dee, and I'm pretty new to comedy. I've been doing comedy for a little less than 2 months now. And, as you can tell, comedy is a very male dominated field. Yeah. It's a lot of guys, not a lot of women. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm no stranger to male dominated fields. I was in the military. Give it up for veterans, by the way. Yeah, veterans. Woo. But you know what else is a male dominated field? Taking it up the ass. Yeah. Just ask Ramon Ayala, 2 and 3. Honestly, I just feel like sometimes I don't belong in comedy. I heard the comedians were going to start a baseball league, and I was pretty upset because I was not invited. I know. Apparently, they had just had way too many catchers and not enough pitchers. Yeah. Dear. And all their games were away games, away from their girlfriends. What do you call a comedian without a girlfriend? Homeless. Wait, that's not true. That's not true. You all don't have girlfriends. You live with your moms. But what is the difference between a comedian and a terrorist? A terrorist actually knows when they're bombing. But no, I'm kidding. I don't want to piss anybody off because some of you look like potential school shooters, right? Because you're incels. But I kid. I've actually been given some great advice by my fellow comedians, right? And they've told me things like, write jokes about things that you've gone through, right? Things that you've experienced, which is great advice. But it does make me wonder, why do so many comedians talk about gay shit all the time, right? Maybe they got the same tip that I did, or maybe just a tip. And I know another thing is that male comedians love talking about sex stuff, right? Sex life, a lot. I mean, a lot. But it just gets old and hard to believe. It's kind of like a priest convincing a 10-year-old. This never happened. What is the definition of insanity? Anybody heard that? What's the definition of insanity? Right? Saying the same joke over and over and expecting a different result. My mama always said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But except with some of you, I know exactly what jokes I'm going to get. And how many comedians does it take to screw on a light bulb? 1. Only if the light bulb is passed out enough and unable to give consent. I mean, I'm not saying y'all are rapists. I'm just saying some of you are rapey. But you're like Epstein with no island, right? And what's the difference between a comedian and a donkey show? Both of them are disgusting, but only one of them gets laid. Actually, no. Donkey shows actually start on time. And people like to talk a lot of shit about comedians, and I'm just not taking it anymore. You know what? I'm putting my foot down. I'm defending you all. They're saying things like, South Texas comedians aren't funny. And that's not true. Some of you aren't even from South Texas, actually. But do you know comics, like a lot of comedians have like remedial joke writing classes on Sundays? Yeah. They get together and make jokes about, get together and write jokes and talk about it. And yet the jokes are still not landing and the laughs are still not laughing. But what other flonke remedial class are we going to come up with next is what I wonder. Fingering for Dummies? Or my favorite, How to Make a Woman Laugh in 5 Easy Steps. CBC is going to love this. But wait, there's more. For just 3 easy payments of $39.99, you can get Fingering for Dummies, How to Make a Woman Laugh for free. And don't wait, call now or operators are waiting.